Hello, social media. This is Bliss Green, NMLS 116122. I was wanting to talk to you today very briefly about TRID timelines. There's a lot of concern in the marketplace today about how TRID is affecting our community. Are your loans going to close on time, particularly if you're a listing agent and you don't know what's going on? If you're the buyer's agent, then your lender should definitely be talking to you about what's going on. But regardless of which side of the transaction you're representing as a real estate agent, here are some key time triggers that you should be hitting so that you can know whether or not you're on target. Let's start from the front. 3 days after we get the purchase contract, we're supposed to have an initial loan disclosure out to the client. So the first question you want to ask is, did you receive your initial loan disclosure? And did you get them back the intent to proceed? Because we cannot move forward with their loan without the electronic consent for the intent to proceed or without a wet signature on that actual document. I would say the appraisal needs to be ordered at least within the first 2 weeks of the transaction. If for some reason the appraisal is not ordered within the first 2 weeks, something's going on that you probably want to be having a conversation about, just so you can know, are we working a plan of action? Like what's really going on? So definitely ask those questions of your lender and your client. Why hasn't the appraisal been ordered? Let's get that figured out now. And then it really shouldn't take more than 2 weeks to get third-party orders and verifications back in. If your client is ready, set, go with all of their information in upfront, which is an ideal world, it's not the world in which we lend, but in an ideal world, that's what would happen. We should be able to get back to final underwriting in less than 3 weeks, 2 weeks even. I mean, if they're really ready, seven days, appraisal comes back and boom, we're ready. But you know, we don't live or lend in a perfect world. So I would say within a week of the appraisal coming back, everything else should be tacked down on the loan file, and you should be back in final underwriting. Now, at my particular lender and lending home, we go with the worst case scenario, and we're not going to set a closing date until 10 business days of final approval. So you have to work your clock backwards from that. So if you have a 45-day timeline on your contract, that means at day 30, you need to be back in final underwriting, and you need to know by day 25, are we ready to go back to final underwriting? So you need to keep up with that timeline as well. You as a seller can keep up with that timeline and be asking those questions. Day 15, are you going to be in final underwriting by day 20, this date here? So definitely take accountability for that if you're a realtor. Those are really easy timelines. Initial loan disclosure within 3 days, appraisal within 2 weeks. Are we back to final underwriting 10 business days, 15 to 10 business days prior to your actual closing date? And if you want to make sure that you hit your closing date every time, you'll give 45 days on the contract. Ask your lender to beat it and make sure that they're hitting those timelines. My name is Bliss Green. Lending Bliss is my brand. I loan in 50 different states, and I'd love to help you close your loan on time. Give me a call, 704-890-4866. We're the Mortgage Scout, and we're lending and changing lives. Thank you for being with me.